Hello my superstar spinny artists, I hope you are all well. We're going to do a flamingo today. I have really enjoyed seeing some of the work that you've been uploading and sharing with us at school for all the art tutorials. As usual, you're delivering some incredible art, and it's just lovely to see that you're still working hard at trying to develop your artistic skills. So today, let's continue developing them a little bit more by trying this really fun flamingo. They are funny creatures. You can see from the photos here that they look ever so funny in a way that just makes you want to smile. With their beaks and their pink feathers and their long skinny legs. But they are very well adapted to their habitats. And once you've done the tutorial, your challenge is to find out why they are pink, and some of them are pinker than others, but what makes their feathers go pink, because it is something very specific. They aren't born pink, but they become pink as they grow up, and it is something very specific. Okay, so I look forward to hearing your thoughts on that if you want to share them. And also maybe have a little investigation to see where it is they live, because they don't live in just one country or one continent. They live across a few continents. Right, and with that, let's get to the drawing. Right, so the one we are going to do today is the flamingo that was on the front cover of Mr Stirrat's book that he did for his assembly for Lucy Cousins. Okay, so it's a more animated style flamingo. So this is my final one. I used felt tips to colour him in. I was going to paint the water here, and you could, when you come to do your one, you add a background. Okay, so our first step, you've got a sheet of A4 paper, and around the sort of middle almost, you are going to put one dot. So this is, for me, it is from the edge of the paper, from the bottom, it is quite literally one hand up to this dot here. Now this dot here, the two dots here are going to be, the first bit we're going to draw with the flamingo is actually this bit here, from the base of his neck up to the top of his back. I'm saying his because I've called the flamingo Boris. Okay, but you can name your flamingo any name you would like, of course, and it could be a she. So you have your hand at the bottom, and it's almost one, maybe for you, if you're in Key Stage 1, a hand and a half. If you're in Year 5 and 6, it might be a hand and maybe a finger, and you do the dot. And from the edge of the page, it's again the length of your middle finger pretty much. Okay, and that's going to give you the midpoint of the back. So just bear that in mind when you're doing it. And then you come down one whole finger, down one whole finger, and about 3 fingers across. So down one whole finger and a bit, I would say, 3 fingers across, and you do your other dot. And with that, you have your first line that you're going to draw, which is the back. Okay, make it lovely and curvy like a slide, as if you're going up a hill. Now you're going to go another, about the same distance almost, that this dot is from the middle. You do this dot here, which is going to be the dot at the end, just near the tail. And you try and make it, doesn't have to be exactly the same level. I've actually made it a bit lower. That's okay. Yes, it's not the same level as a starting point, if I run and you put the dot, because that's going to be where our tail is, and you bring it down in a lovely curve. Next, you're going to do sort of 3, it's almost as if it's a little hand, 3 fingers, or 3 number line jumps. You come down a bit, 1, 2, 3. So you come down a bit from where you've done your line. So you come down about a pinky finger. Okay, so I've got it here, and I'm going to come down about one pinky finger down, and then I do my jumps. 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to put another dot, align it not quite with the middle of the back. If you go up and bring it down about another finger down, okay, a finger and a half down. So down a finger and a half and aligned not quite with the back, or if you prefer to do it, it's about 2 or 3 fingers. And then you're going to join that in a lovely curve. Lovely curve. You join it in a lovely curve. Yes? Good job. Doing a great job. I'm going to try and take it out of the shadow of the light. Quite annoying. Now you bring that curve and you just bring it down a little bit. So you've done the curve. Just make sure it's got a hook coming down, because this is going to be the top of Boris's leg. Can you see it here? It's the top of Boris's leg. And then you leave a little space. It's not quite a pencil width. It's a bit less than a pencil width. And you do another little line coming down at an angle, not a straight line. It's not a stick man. It's not a stick flamingo. And that's going to be, should just leave a marker of where the top of Boris's leg is. And now you're going to do a little number line jump, which is Boris's tummy here. And that's just about lovely, perfect. Certainly for me, it's perfect index finger. For some of you, it might be a perfect thumb if you're in key stage 1. And then you're going to do another little jump, a tiny little arc up, because again, you're showing where the other edge of Boris's leg is, this bit here, okay? That's what you're doing here. Okay. Next, we are going to do a little line. You're going to come up to where your starting point was, and you come across about a finger, not your pinky finger. It's about 2 pencils across, certainly my index finger across, and you do a dot. And that dot is to help you join up the top of the leg. Okay, so you're making this part of Boris, the flamingo. Okay, and you do a lovely curve. Don't do it as a straight line. Got lovely curves, these flamingos. Now, I want you to go up about 2 fingers, about 2 of my fingers, might be 2.5 of yours, and you come in a little bit. So you don't come up in a straight line. You come up from your neck, from that point where you've got the neck, and you come in a little bit, in about a pencil width, and you do a dot. And then you leave another. For me, it's just less than my pinky. For a lot of you, it might be your pinky finger. This is going to be Boris's neck. And you do another dot. Now, don't do them. Can you see they're not on a straight line? If they're on a straight line, then the second dot would be exactly where this dot would be, where this dot is. It isn't. It's down a little bit. Okay? That's going to help you with your curve. That's an important detail for now. And then you draw in your curve, your line, the top of the neck, the bottom of the neck up here with this dot in a lovely curve, remember? Look at the lovely curve that Boris has on the neck. And you're going to do exactly the same with the other line. Okay, oops, my sheets are back to front here. You're going to do exactly the same. So you come here and you come round in a curve. Now follow, don't just join. I'll do it on this one for you. Don't just go in a straight line up. You must come round in a lovely curve to give the flamingo, Boris the flamingo, that lovely neck. Okay. And then you're going to do 2 dots again. And again, you're going to come in. So in actual fact, you come to this side of the neck, the side that's closer to the back, and you go up about 1.5 fingers or 2 fingers and in towards the back. So this way, you come this way and you do the dot. And then you leave another pinky finger and you do the second dot. And again, don't make it on exactly the same line. Bring it down just a little bit. So in actual fact, this dot is coming down around here, and this dot, if you draw a line, it hits the back along here. I don't want you to draw this line, I'm just showing you where it goes. Okay, and now you are going to join your neck again. So you bring a line in a lovely curve again, slight curve. It's not a straight, it looks like maybe like a straight line, but it's a soft, a little bit of a curve. And then you're going to do the same for the other line. Okay, so if I had them here, they're coming along here, and then this one here. Okay, 2 curves. So you've got this lovely, almost like a tube coming up, like a road. Think of it as if you're drawing a wiggly road. Now you're going to go, this is about 2.5 of my fingers, 3 of your fingers maybe. You go up and across a bit, out, away from the back, and you do your dot. And then you're going to join that dot with a lovely curve. Really important, this curve, because remember, you're designing the shape of the neck. And look at Boris's lovely neck. So you're doing this bit of the neck now. You're actually coming up to the base of the beak. Okay. And then you're going to do this dot up here, which is actually, at the moment, we are now here. So the dot we're doing, this bit is here. And now we're going to do a dot straight across. And you leave, for me it was about a thumb distance across. For you it might be 1.5 thumbs. And you do this time make the dot at exactly the same level. Exactly the same level. And then you join it in a lovely sweeping curve. Okay, a lovely sweeping curve. So you have like this. Okay, so the neck opens up a bit because you need space for the head, for the flamingo's head. Now you're going to do a pinky finger distance straight up from where this line finishes, straight up, because this is going to be our beak. This is what you're doing here, is you're putting the dot to show where the beak is, okay? And then you're going to join it with a little curve, okay? So a little curve, join it with a little curve. A number line jump, sort of number line jump, yes? And now we're going to do the head. So you come to this, you can either start at the top of the curve and you come round and down and hit your other line. So if I do it on this one here, you come you go up a bit, round and down. Don't go straight across, he's not got a flat head. Okay, so remember, you've got the beak, you go up a bit, round and down, and you hit the other side of your line. Okay, so you've got this shape. Now you're going to do the eye. Now the eye is quite important, the size and the position. And the way to guide yourself is the size that you've made the beak here, the eye is almost as big as that. And it's the shape, it's an oval, it's not a perfect circle. It's a bit like an egg, but not quite an egg, it's an oval. So, and start, align yourself just above the point of the beak, and then do your lovely oval. And it can go almost down to the bottom bit of the beak, but not quite. Okay, if you look here at Boris's eye. And then you do a little dot near the top. Don't make the dot too big. Again, an important detail in the flamingo. Just make a little dot almost nearer the top of the eye. And now you're going to do the beak. So you come out about a finger and a little bit, about 1, 2, almost 3 pencils. You don't want the beak to be too big with Boris. You need to be quite careful here. So I haven't quite aligned it with the top because you're actually going to come down a bit. So come down from where your point is here, down just a little bit and out about, for me, it is an index finger and a smidge. For you, it might be an index finger and a half. And then you are going to join the top of the beak with a curve. So you don't just come straight out with a straight line. You do a little curve, even if it means going up a bit. It actually does have a little upward bit. Okay, they have a sort of hook shape in their beaks because that's how they feed. Their beaks are very, very important feeding tools for them in the water to pick up all the crustaceans they eat. Okay, so do a little curve. That might be a clue, the word crustaceans, about how they get their colour. Now, you're going to do a little dot just where you've come to this point on the beak. You've actually come to this point here. You haven't done the hooky bit. We've just come to this bit up here, okay? This is where our line's gone to. And you're going to do a dot about pencil width underneath, but in actual fact it should match up with this. So if yours, guide yourself by however big you have made this space for the beak. Okay, just come straight out and that's where your dot goes, and it's about a pencil down, it should be. Okay, and then you're going to join it. Now I didn't do this one, I did this a bit too straight. If you look at my final one here, it actually is a curve. So it comes out from your point here. If I do it on this sheet, comes out, give it a curve. Don't just make a straight line. Okay? Don't do what I did basically here. Doesn't look right. Okay? Just needs a little curve. Done it a bit better here. Now on this one, what I've done is I've gone to the top part of the beak and I've given it that hook that comes round. Can you see? So I've gone from up here and down. And you just come round and down. Now you're going to join it back to the middle. So you can either start from this point here and come up, but I found it easier to start and get your starting point in the middle of the beak here near the eye, and you come out and you hit the bottom beak. By the hit, I mean the lines touch, and then you finish at the beak. Okay, so you come across, and your guide is that you want your line to touch the bottom line of the beak, and it touches it and then it finishes at the point. Okay, so there's no open space. If you prefer, you can start here and come up. Right, now you're going to do the legs. So you come down and you do 2 parallel lines, but maybe try and give them a little bit of, as if they're coming in a little. Because this one is a bit, they don't have to, this one I'd say is a little bit wide maybe. This one is better, the shape that I did on this one. I like the way the lines come in a bit as well. And bring them down about 2.5 fingers for you, 2 of my fingers. You'll see why in a minute, because if you look, he's standing on one leg, isn't he, Boris, doing his dance. They do dance, flamingos. They do a special dance, but they do it as a group, as a flock. They do a special mating dance. So they bring you, what you're going to do next is on this leg here, you're going to bring the line across up to the first leg here. You're almost making a box, but don't do it, give it a curve, okay? Give it a curve, because this is actually, what you're doing here is you're showing where the leg is bending here and going across, okay? and then you stop at this leg. You stop. Forget this, I've done this wrong here because I'll just point it out now. Don't go across it because the leg that is going horizontal, I'm just going to Tipp-Ex it out so you can see, is actually going behind. Okay, so it stops and then you get to the other side and you do the line again. And it's almost about the same distance. Whatever the space is you have between these two, you do the same unless you've made it very, very narrow, in which case do make it about 1.5 fingers, okay? About 3 pencils across. 1, 2, 3. Yes, you don't want it to be too short. Okay. And then you're going to come back to this leg here and do a little loop, like almost as if you were doing a number line jump on its side and across. And that's because you're doing here, it's actually the flamingo's knee, isn't it? This bit here. Okay. And now you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to come up and you're going to stop. And then you're going to leave space because basically this leg is going to come down in front of it. So you're going to stop and then you do the rest of the line. And you don't go quite up to this top bit here, you leave a little bit of space. Okay, so stop a little bit before the top bit. Now you're going to do this other leg, which comes in front. So it comes down across the leg that you've just drawn. And then you do these 2 little number line jumps. Okay. And again, it's the knee, isn't it, for the flamingo. And then you come down about 2 or 3 fingers. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencils for me. Okay. And you just leave it there because this leg is in the water. Where they feed and tend to eat and live, their habitat are usually is in water, but very shallow water. They spend a lot of time in these shallow, salty marshes and lakes. Okay, so his foot is in there, in the water, so we'll just stop it there like that. In a minute, because here, okay. We're going to go back and do the other bit now. So now you've got to do this bit here, his foot. Okay, you've actually just got to come down with a soft curve. Don't make it straight, just come over and down. Not quite, but for you it might be about a thumb down. Okay. And then you do a little shape. You come round and you do 3 little jumps because they've got these sort of webbed feet because they spend all this time in the water, so they need that. And so do 3 little soft jumps, I would say. Any shape, don't worry too much about it. Not too pronounced, quite soft little jumps, yeah? You can see here. And there you've got the main parts of your flamingo. Now the detail, which we know is always really important, you can make your flamingo. Flamingos are pink. As long as they're eating healthily and getting the food that they should be eating, they will be pink. And some of them might be bright pink, quite dark, deep pink, deep reddish, scarlet. Others are slightly lighter, depends. But you can have lots of fun with your flamingo and maybe make the feathers lots of different colors, maybe make rainbow flamingos. To get the shape for the feathers, you're basically doing lots of shapes like this. So you do a loop and you just repeat the loop several times. Just repeat them along the back. Okay? Repeat your loops like this, but don't go all the way. Leave a bit of space near the tail feathers. Don't go all the way to the edge, but you can have some fun with that. Okay? And then I added, because I decided that Boris was doing a dance, then I've added some movement brackets which we know are really important to indicate that there's some movement. And then you need to show that the leg is in water. So you add some wavy lines in blue, or colour it in blue and then add some wavy lines in black, and also add a line to indicate land. Now I didn't colour it in, but you could have this, some green here, okay. You could have some blue sky behind Boris. They tend to live in very warm climates, or certainly dry. The ones that live up quite high obviously will live in slightly cooler climate, but they do live in quite very dry areas generally. So they'll have beautiful blue skies often as backgrounds. So have lots of fun with Boris. I look forward to seeing your amazing flamingos. And I'm sure Mr Stirrat will look forward to seeing how you have recreated the flamingo from the book that he read to you, which I believe is one of his favourite books. Okay. And I look forward to seeing all your amazing art. Bye bye, my superstar artists.